Welcome to Motivational Humanity. You are not alone.
We spend our whole lives being told that intelligence is a golden ticket, that if you're smart enough, quick enough, sharp enough, life opens every door for you. Grades go up, opportunities line up, people admire you from a distance. But here's what almost nobody tells you. A brilliant mind can also feel like a house with too many rooms, beautiful from the outside, but exhausting to live in alone. Because behind every gifted, every so smart, every you'll go far, there's a quieter story. A story about how deep awareness can turn into deep isolation. How the very gift that makes you capable can also make you feel like you're standing on the other side of a glass wall from everyone else. If you've ever felt brilliant and completely alone in the same breath, this video is for you. Today, we're going to walk through 8 struggles that only truly intelligent people carry. Not to make you feel broken, but to help you finally feel seen. So stay with me until the end, because struggle number 8 is the one most people never say out loud, and it might be the one you needed to hear the most. Before we begin, if any part of this feels like your own story, drop a comment and tell me which number hit hardest. Someone reading it tonight might need to know they're not the only one. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe. This channel exists for minds like yours. Let's begin. The exhaustion of small talk. Picture this. You're at a neighbor's backyard barbecue. Someone's talking about the score of last night's game. Someone else is discussing the best deal on patio furniture. And you're standing there, holding a lukewarm drink, nodding along, while some part of your brain has quietly left the conversation. It's not that you think you're better than anyone there. It's that your mind is wired differently. Psychologists call this need for cognition, or NFC. People with high NFC don't just tolerate complex thinking, they crave it. Their brains are built to search for patterns, chase deeper meaning, and dig beneath the surface of things. So when a conversation stays shallow, something in your mind simply dims. Not out of arrogance, out of hunger for something with more nutrition. And here's the painful part. The people around you don't see hunger. They see distance. Your quiet becomes stuck up. Your stillness becomes cold, when really, you're just a person who longs for conversations about ideas, meaning why things are the way they are. And you haven't yet found the room where that conversation is happening. That disconnect in how you take in the world doesn't stay in your head. It changes the way you speak, which brings us to struggle number 2. Being misread because you pause before you answer. Someone asks you a simple question over lunch. So what do you think we should do? And instead of answering right away, you go quiet. 3 seconds, 5 seconds, long enough that they start to wonder if you even heard them. That silence gets misread constantly. People assume you're distracted, slow, unsure. The truth is the opposite. Scientists call this deep cognitive processing. Your brain isn't skimming the question. It's running it through an entire hidden engine, weighing context, predicting what the person actually needs to hear, checking for exceptions, contradictions, and consequences before a single word leaves your mouth. You'd rather sit in silence for 5 seconds than hand someone a half-true answer in half a second. But we live in a culture obsessed with quick reactions, fast comebacks, instant takes, snappy banter. And your careful, considered pause, the very thing that makes your answers worth waiting for, gets mistaken for hesitation, or worse, incompetence. That same careful filtering doesn't only slow your words down. Sometimes it makes the whole art of connecting with people feel like a language you never fully learned, which leads us to struggle number 3, feeling like an outsider in ordinary social moments. You can walk into a boardroom and untangle a problem that stumped everyone for weeks. And yet, someone gives you a genuine compliment at a dinner party, and you freeze, unsure whether to deflect it, explain it away, or just say thank you like a normal human being. Researchers, including psychologist Jane Davidson, have pointed to a strange but common pattern, a high IQ. Logical intelligence doesn't automatically come with a high EQ, emotional intelligence. EQ is reading a room, sensing tension before anyone says a word, knowing when comfort matters more than correctness. Because your mind runs on logic, data, and cause and effect, human moments that are messy and irrational can trip you up in ways a physics problem never would. Maybe your best friend calls you crying about a breakup, and you respond with a 5-point plan for how to fix it, when all she wanted was for you to sit with her in the sadness for a minute. You didn't mean harm. You were solving the problem the fastest way your mind knows how. But that mismatch quietly convinces you that you're bad at people, even while you're one of the most thoughtful people in the room. And when you can't quite find your footing in casual connection, you start reaching for something deeper, which brings us to struggle number 4, struggling to find real, deep friendship. You might have a phone full of contacts and a calendar full of plans and still feel like you could count your real friends on one hand. This isn't bad luck. It's a documented pattern among highly intelligent people. The first reason is what we might call the intimidation effect. We naturally gravitate toward people who feel similar to us. It feels safer. Your depth of thought, your careful questions, your wide-ranging curiosity can unintentionally make people feel like they need to perform around you, even when you've never asked them to. The second reason comes from inside you. Psychology's similarity attraction principle tells us we bond fastest with people who match our mental rhythm. You're not looking for someone to just hang out with. You're looking for someone who can sit with you in an idea for 2 hours, disagree with you without flinching, and still want to grab coffee afterward. That kind of connection is rare. And the loneliness that comes from not finding it isn't about being physically alone. It's the ache of being surrounded by people and still feeling unseen. When the search for that connection gets tiring, something in you starts to pull back, which brings us to struggle number 5, slowly withdrawing from social life. When small talk drains you, social situations feel clumsy, and real connection feels rare. Your brain does something very human. It protects itself. It starts choosing quiet nights and overcrowded plans out. Maybe you turn down the group trip to stay home with a book. Maybe you skip the office happy hour to keep working on something that actually interests you. From the outside, it can look like you're becoming distant, even antisocial. But there's real science behind this. It's connected to something called sensory processing sensitivity. Highly intelligent minds don't just hear a conversation. They're simultaneously reading body language, tracking shifts in tone, cataloging 5-side conversations at once, and analyzing the underlying dynamics of the whole room. That's an enormous amount of processing happening under the surface. So when you come home from a party and feel completely drained, that's not laziness. That's not social anxiety. That's your brain, having done the work of 10 people, finally asking for rest. The danger is that the line between recharging and disappearing gets thin, and sometimes, even alone, your mind refuses to switch off, which takes us to struggle number 6, getting stuck in your own head, overthinking until you're frozen. You'd think being alone would finally quiet things down, but often it's the opposite. Alone is where the noise gets loudest. Say you're simply choosing which apartment to rent. Most people weigh 2 options, this one or that one, but your mind doesn't stop at 2. It generates a third option, a fourth, a fifth, each one branching into its own web of pros, cons, hidden risks, and 5 years from now consequences. Psychologists call this analysis paralysis. It happens when the amount of information your brain generates outpaces your ability to act on any of it. You're not being dramatic. You're not overthinking it for fun. Your mind is doing exactly what it was built to do, searching for the safest, smartest, most complete answer. But that search can turn into an invisible prison, where even something as small as replying to a text message feels like defusing a bomb. By the time you've analyzed every angle, you're exhausted before you've even acted. And almost no one around you understands why something that looks simple to them feels like climbing a mountain to you. That endless appetite for analysis comes from somewhere deeper, a mind that's simply never satisfied standing still. Which brings us to struggle number 7. A mind that constantly demands new challenges. If a muscle needs movement to stay strong, an intelligent mind needs stimulation to stay alive. Give you the same repetitive task at work for 6 months straight, and you'll start to feel something close to suffocation. Not because you're ungrateful, because your brain's reward system, driven by dopamine, lights up strongest in the presence of something new, a new skill, a new problem. A new question with no easy answer. The moment you master something, your brain quietly closes that file and starts hunting for the next one. That's why you might switch careers more than your friends expect. Pick up a new hobby every few months. Start 3 side projects at once. From the outside, people may call it flaky, undisciplined, unable to commit. But it isn't restlessness for its own sake. It's a mind that refuses to go dull. And very few people can match that pace with you, which is its own quiet kind of loneliness. That hunger for growth, combined with the eyes of the world watching you, creates one final, heavy weight. Struggle number 8, the crushing pressure to always succeed. With a mind like yours, failure isn't even an option. Someone as smart as you will figure it out. We all expect great things from you. They sound like compliments, but over years, sentences like these become bricks, building an invisible wall of pressure on your shoulders, one comment at a time. Researchers studying gifted individuals have identified 2 patterns that often travel together: maladaptive perfectionism and imposter syndrome. Because the world keeps labeling you the smart one, you quietly absorb a rule that failure isn't allowed. Every small mistake gets magnified into evidence that you're a fraud, that one day, everyone will realize your success was just luck. So you hide the moments you don't know the answer. You bury the times you fall down. And the loneliness reaches its peak right there. Because the world assumes that intelligent people already know how to fix themselves. You carry everyone's expectations, but you're left to bandage your own wounds in private. Intelligence was never meant to be a cure for pain, as we've walked through today. From the exhaustion of shallow conversation to the crushing weight of always needing to be right. A sharp mind carries very real, very human struggles. But if you recognize yourself in even one of these 8, I want you to hear this clearly. The way you experience the world is not a flaw to fix. The isolation you feel doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It simply means you're perceiving the world in a higher resolution than most people around you. Your intelligence is a tool, not the measure of your worth as a human being. So instead of forcing yourself to shrink down, to fit into rooms that only reward the surface, give yourself permission to set boundaries. Let yourself rest from other people's expectations. Accept the beautifully imperfect fact that you are human. And keep searching, patiently, for the small circle of people who think on your frequency, even if it takes longer to find them. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are simply someone who feels and thinks more deeply than most. And that depth deserves your own compassion first. If this video put words to something you've carried quietly for years, tell me in the comments which struggle hit closest to home. Someone else reading tonight needs to know they're not alone in this. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us here at Motivational Humanity, because understanding yourself is the first act of coming home to your own peace. I am reclaiming my peace.